I think I've always sort of been interested in style and how I dress and how when someone is wearing something, it sort of affects your perception of them. I remember being in like the 4th grade, and I don't know if you remember, there's this music store in the mall back then called Sam Goody, and they had this Snoop Dogg t-shirt that I really wanted. I was like in 4th grade, okay? I'm like some little Asian kid trying to buy like an extra large Snoop Dogg t-shirt. And my mom was like, you are not buying that. But I don't know, it made me feel something, right? It's like an emotional response to a piece of clothing that you see. So I think that sort of was always in the back of my head. And as I grew up, I was always really experimental with my style and the stuff I wore. My name is Barron Cuadro. I run Effortless Gent, and I help guys dress with style. It was always in the back of my head that I wanted to be a business owner. I just didn't know what that path was going to be to get there. I got an internship at this company called CNET, but then in the middle of all that is when I sort of had this idea to start Effortless Gent. I had grown up with friends and colleagues who would ask me style-related questions, and I never really thought twice about it, but then I realized if these guys have these really basic questions about how to wear things, there have to be other guys out there who have similar questions. I spent probably 2 months building a website and just trying to get it all perfect. I remember I would come home from work, I would like eat dinner with my girlfriend, now she's my wife, but we would eat dinner, and then like from 7 to 2 a.m. I would like work on stuff. I would write posts, I would build the site, everything I had to do for like a month or 2 straight. And then eventually I put it out there. It was pretty slow and steady throughout the first, I would say, 2 years. I think within that I launched like a small ebook. That was like my first paid product. And I didn't know much, but all I did know was that I should probably talk to my audience and ask them what they wanted. So once I did that, it was easy to sort of have an outline for the book and write it. And then eventually I launched it. I didn't even really know what a launch was back then. I just sort of put it up for sale. But it did surprisingly well, and it was able to do well enough to allow me to quit my job and just do freelancing and the website. The fashion industry is pretty difficult to break into as a blogger because it's really saturated nowadays. Everyone is doing sort of the same thing. And I'm glad that from the beginning I was never doing like a what I wore today blog, so let me take photos of my outfits every day. It was never about that. It was more about educating guys who want to learn how to dress better in their everyday lives, right? In order to get into this nowadays, I feel like you have to be a little bit different from what everyone else is doing. What is that little thing that would make you a little bit different from the people who are already in the niche? Guys don't generally talk about how they look or clothes. Like, when I'm talking to our friends, I'm not like, hey, you like my outfit? Like, no one talks that way, right? Guys don't talk about that stuff. But I think it's a topic that they're sincerely interested in, or at least concerned about a little bit, because they want to look good. Regardless of whether we pay attention to our clothing or not, people are paying attention to us, right? And I think on some level, these guys know that because they're concerned enough to ask me, hey, how does this look? Or hey, what should I be wearing? And I think once you help them and they know that their clothing fits well and then it's a combination that looks great, they just feel more self-assured and more confident, so they can go out and do whatever they need to do, like talk to the girl or ask for the raise or whatever goal they had in mind in the first place in order to want to dress better. My first ebook was relatively successful, at least more than I expected it to be. And I remember launching my second one, and it was not as successful as I had hoped. And I was not really sure what went wrong, or I guess I missed the mark and I didn't know how to, I didn't know where to go from there. It was kind of a downer for me because I knew like I had this great success before that allowed me to even quit my job. But now I had this other thing that didn't do very well. And I'm like, well, where do I go from here? How do I make this better? Do I pivot? Do I create a whole new thing? Do I scrap it completely? It's never really as easy as you would hope the second time around. You kind of always have to adapt because your audience changes, your expectations change too as far as what you can achieve. So you have to sort of grow and adapt and make sure that you're not stagnant in your learning. So we're a very content-driven site now. We focus a lot on creating good content for both our readers and our advertisers. So I would say 80% of our business right now is focus on sponsorships and ads and affiliate money. And then 20% right now is products and like digital products and courses. I try to work with companies that I'm really excited about. If I like their product or if I like the company in general, I don't feel weird about promoting them because I think they're good and I would wear them anyway. So why not tell my audience about them? And on their side, they're really excited to be exposed to an audience that is reading Effortless Gent and knows that the person who is behind it is also really excited about the product. The funny thing is like when you have a business, you're always sort of nervous, right? Even if you have like a $20,000 month, you still feel a little bit nervous sometimes. So I mean, I've been doing this long enough to know that you're going to have ebbs and flows, and as long as you're serving the people that you know you're meant to serve, and you always work with them to make sure that they're getting what they need from you, you're generally going to be okay. I'm really happy I ended up where I am because it's not only a topic that I enjoy, and it's not only I get to serve others and help them sort of figure out and realize how they can dress better, but it's also allowed me to have a career of my own and to kind of create this thing that didn't exist before. It took a lot of work, but and it's always going to take a lot of work, but it's the work that you want to do because it's your own. To be a blogger means freedom. It means the ability to create something and be able to help someone, and also at the same time be expressive of what you believe and how you feel, and just having an outlet to do so. My name is Barron Cuadro. I run Effortless Gent and I help guys dress with style, and I'm a blogger.